of not being adaptable at every turn, she was able to save face. Everything was turning out to be okay as the dust had finally started to settle. That alone was better than she'd ever imagined. The biggest change of all, though, was being with Sutton. Sutton, her official girlfriend. Sutton, who had officially been in Rome for 133 days and counting now that she'd gotten the offer to extend her internship for the additional 3 months. Never in her life had she navigated this aspect of her life. Had to navigate being in a relationship, let alone juggling a relationship where her girlfriend was halfway around the world. She'd also never made use of her vacation time since she'd worked in public office. Not once in over 6 years had she taken more than the mandated holidays off. And yet, I still can't believe you're here, Sutton breathed out, her voice just a bit hoarse and lazy still. Charlotte couldn't stop herself from smiling into Sutton's back as she continued planting slow kisses across the tops of her shoulders. "Believe it," she murmured, tossing her hair over her shoulder and looking at the clock next to the bed. "At least for the next 32 hours. She sat up on her knees, taking in with just barely sated hunger all of Sutton's soft skin on display as she lay completely naked underneath her. All of that glorious long red hair was swept to the side, mussed and tangled from the night they'd spent in bed together after Charlotte had arrived. Her lips quirked up a bit into a smirk, and she brushed her fingers over the dark spot she'd sucked into the juncture where Sutton's neck and shoulder met, loving how she could see the way Sutton shivered at it. The utterly self-indulgent, satisfied feeling that slid through her with the fact that Sutton was her girlfriend, that they'd made it over those initial hurdles, coupled with the fact that Sutton was still so completely responsive to her touch, was on the precipice of familiar and novel. She reveled in it. "I wish it was for longer." Sutton's voice was slightly muffled as she arched her back against Charlotte's hands. She traced her fingers along the muscles there, biting her lip at the longing in Sutton's voice, because she felt it too. The want for more time together that was only hushed by the knowledge that this distance was temporary. "I know, believe me. I'm sorry, darling, but these few days I have off have already killed my schedule." Her voice was soft and full of remorse, because she did wish there was more time for them right now, to be together in the same place. She was well aware that if her job and schedule weren't the way it was, taking a few more days off to stay in Rome wouldn't be out of the question. A soft pang of guilt and the stresses she still carried about the future brought her slowly exploring hands to a pause. Before she shook her head to push those thoughts away, worries about the future would be normal in any relationship. She not only assured herself, but had been assured by Sutton multiple times after sharing these feelings with her. They would just have to figure things out as they came, and there were some things that couldn't be mapped out. She had to be okay with that. She bent down, sliding her hands along Sutton's sides, to press her lips against the nape of her neck. The feeling of Sutton against her, the smell of her shampoo that lingered in her hair, was enough to help calm her ever-present thoughts about the future. There was no way she was going to waste the precious little time she had here on that. Not when they were secluded in a room with just the two of them, away from everything and everyone. She could feel Sutton melt even more into the mattress, even before she shook her head. "No, it's not, Charlotte. You have so much to do, and you took time off to come here. You're so perfect." Her tone was dreamy. It made Charlotte grin with the rush of pride, feeling the need to live up to that tone. I do try. You're no slouch in the busy department either, over here making a name for yourself.